It's been a while since you've gone in front of the staff and done a video, and it's July 2023. There's some very important messages you have for our staff because we have some very, very difficult things happening in our community.
Ken, it was in my soul or my spirit to say, let's do a video this month just to be able to connect with people because, like you said, in the summertime, it's usually a slowdown. This feels different. We have everything from our staff at the wilderness school protecting kids from a rabid bobcat
Yeah,
to, fires that claim the life of people to, we see an increase in intimate partner violence in communities significant.
significant.
We know the fentanyl issue is really rearing its head and, having us to make some decisions through that multidisciplinary lens. We've got all the summer safety stuff related to kids
Yeah,
and just a large number of child fatalities on families that we've never even had
yeah,
involvement with. So
yeah.
I think you're right that it speaks to just a lot of what's happening in families across Connecticut.
Yeah, I think Connecticut right now is hurting. You mentioned intimate partner violence. We've had, other acts of violence in our community where adolescents have been shot and killed. We now
Yeah.
have, horrific scenes of car accidents,
Hmm.
really from all the four corners of our state. And as you mentioned, ingestions again, and so many of these
Hmm.
families we haven't known. I think it's a call to action, so to speak, again, on
Yeah.
ensuring that the youngest members of our community, those children 0 to 3,
Hmm.
have our most concerted and collective efforts to keep them
Hmm.
safe.
Yeah. Last week, Ken, I saw you resent out the summer safety flyer.
Yeah,
And so, use this video to remind everybody that when you're working with families that have young children or young children around, even if the children in their home are not young, it may not be a bad idea to talk with them because, relatives, neighbors, community members, and friends are going to be the biggest frontline advocates because they're around
yeah,
kids all the time. No matter what we do, we're not going to be with families 24/7. So, reminding everybody of those things like open windows and water and,
yep,
safety around pools and lakes and rivers and those types of things. Fire safety in the summer because of, bonfires and
yep,
making s'mores, all those great things about the summer
sure,
we know present increased risk fireworks. And then, the other thing that we always highlight at this time is how hot temperatures get inside cars. I think now
hmm,
with this heat index, right where we are, kind of consecutive 90-degree plus days, those things are exacerbated even more. And
they
those,
are.
I was hearing an article the other day about urban heat tables, and so thinking of our urban areas that don't get that opportunity to cool off because the heat just kind of gets trapped in this cycle with the
Yeah,
buildings that really don't allow for there to be fresh air. So we know that, environmental justice is just as important as all of this. But I think our staff are pushing through as we always do.
they sure do. They sure do. And you raise an interesting point about, safety across all aspects of where kids are, right? At home, at a park, water. I sit on the child fatality review panel
Mm,
for the state, and actually we mentioned yesterday there's been 5 drownings already this year, and
wow.
typically there's only 1 to 2 per calendar
Yeah.
year. So
Yep.
you see the numbers in front of you. Yesterday you did 2 interviews, Fox 61 and WFSB, to really impart to family members and neighbors and landlords and friends and people in the community that if they see something that they're concerned about, say something. Do you want to
Yeah.
expand on that a little bit?
Well, first, I have to give kudos to our comms team. Well, our comms team of you and Peter Yazbek, our new communications director, because what we've tried to do and what we've committed to do since the beginning of our administration is to tell the story our way and to
Yeah,
create the narrative that we know. We want the public to hear about us, and we know how hard our staff work. We know, what taxing, emotionally driven work this is.
yeah,
And we took the opportunity this week when there's a lot of speculation and a lot of finger pointing, I would say, and lack of compassion to talk to these reporters about the lens through which we view families, the lens through which we view the stigma associated with asking for help. The lens by which we see that oftentimes, because of a myriad of factors, neighbors stay to themselves, or are afraid to speak up because they don't want to get someone in trouble, or a parent's fear of agencies like ours that really are here to help, but their historic representation of what we represent may mean something different, and that their children might get taken away. So we use this time through our media partners to tell a different story of advocacy and awareness, and everybody linking arms on behalf of kids in support of families. And it worked. I think some of the coverage that we've seen really started to balance that. Not all, but it really started to balance some of those messages.
Right. And I think everybody across the department has a responsibility to seize the opportunity to educate others that they come in contact with about our work. One of the pieces you were so pointed with regarding our media partners is the perception of DCF is what? You make a call, we come out, we remove kids. It's, as we know, it's completely contrary to that in our work. But continuing that messaging that we support and empower families and connect them to supports. But if somebody's concerned, just get the information to us. You can be anonymous, and certainly let us assess and take a look. And all of what you described has taken a toll on members of our staff across Connecticut. You started out by mentioning the Wilderness School. I don't think there's been a region that hasn't been affected this summer regarding a child fatality or another critical incident type of situation that has come across their desk. So we know we have our EAP program. We have a Lanisa Matthew who is fantastic to support our staff. What's your message for our staff now about taking care of themselves as we wrap up this video?
Yeah, from the Solnits through to our area offices. Shout out to our Caroline primaries who, very often have not only been responding after hours, but responding to some really, really tough stuff. We are here. We're all in this together. EAP is available, very confidentially. I can't express that enough. Just, they've, a lot of positive feedback we've gotten from offices in which the Lanisa has arranged for EAP to come out and speak with staff. But it goes both ways, that we pay for this service and we should use it now more than ever. We had a forum earlier this week where we reminded leaders, and I guess we would end this conversation the same way, that the DCF I know supports each other. And that, when there's eyes on us, that's when we shine, because we are here for each other, we support each other, and we lift each other up because we help people who help people. And what's better than that?
There you go. Thank you, Commissioner. And to everybody out there, stay safe, stay strong, and we'll be in touch.